Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video leading up to the 5th episode for The Walking Dead Season 9. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on how we're feeling right now and what we think about that movie theory that is starting to look more and more probable all the time. And spoiler warning, if you guys are not cut up for The Walking Dead, which is up to The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 4. So if you guys didn't see it, we did earlier in the channel, the video on the pictures preview for Episode 5. And in it, it's starting to really look like that good old helicopter theory might be correct for Rick in these episodes. We'll have to see how the whole thing plays out. Either way, they're kind of messing with us. They're either messing with us in that, as the whole thing went through, we all thought that Rick was going to be killed off in this episode. They're saying it's his final episode. They're promoting it as such. But then you happen to have Jadis, who is being set up perfectly at the same time to possibly call in an A to have the helicopter come in. In addition, we have the Talking Dead sneak peek where Rick sees the crows and they turn into a whole bunch of helicopters, and you can hear the helicopter going, and it's coming towards him as he's talking to himself in the hospital bed. Man, and it's like it brings me back to that comicbook.com video that came out around Comic-Con time, where he basically said, Andrew Lincoln said that his relationship with the part is far from over. And then he stops it and he says that he wishes he could say more than that, but he can't because it gets into spoilers, right? So what does that mean? If he's not going to be in The Walking Dead anymore and the helicopter takes him out of the show and he's gone, then you maybe see him in the future at the CommonWealth. If it's true that this is his final episode for the Walking Dead TV series, a few things could happen here. If they're telling the truth and they're not being disingenuous in any way here, the movie theory makes a lot of sense. Scott Gimple has been working on different things. They took him out of the role of showrunner for the Walking Dead series, and they put him into kind of an overarching creative content manager type of role for the Walking Dead television series universe as a whole. Of course, there's Fear of the Walking Dead, which had Lenny James cross over into it. And so if Rick will not return to the Walking Dead series, but he somehow will live, and he doesn't come back in a couple years after a break or something, as part of the CommonWealth coming in, let's say, after the Whispers or something, then how else could this work? How could his relationship with the part continue, but him not returning to the original series? Well, the only way I can think of it is that he either is not going to be playing on-screen Rick anymore and he'll be directing and stuff like that, which did make some sense. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, but if this helicopter comes in and he leaves on the helicopter, it's like movies. They're going to do movies. I just want to say it. Maybe this is just me kind of thinking like, I'm thinking ahead here as to which different way this could go. It's like, do you take Rick and give him to Fear or something like that? I don't think so. Probably not. I don't know if you'd want to, risk losing, attraction in the original Walking Dead series to put him in Fear or something. And they're kind of putting the whole thing through like it's a goodbye letter. It's a goodbye and this whole thing in the series. Because it is him leaving the series. So it's still sad. If he leaves on the helicopter, he's still not going to be in the Walking Dead TV series anymore. And if what they said is true and he's never going to be in it again, then either, you're thinking to yourself, either he's getting killed off, or they're doing the movies, or they're doing something else. They're doing another series with him or something. And then eventually it could maybe cross over something like that, but he'll be in some other kind of Walking Dead thing. So it's early right now to say, but based on what we're seeing for this episode and everything come through here, now that we're getting really close to it, the helicopter theory is making a lot of sense to me. And so is the idea of seeing him in some other way in the future. Maybe if it's not in the original Walking Dead TV series again, like they've said, as final episodes, then it would be in the movies. Rick Grimes movie star, this kind of thing, The Walking Dead movie, right? And then it continues on, this kind of thing. And we see it chronologically all somehow fit together at some point in the future, which will be difficult to coordinate, but if Andrew Lincoln wants a break from doing the show all the time and he wants to take a year or two off, they could do that. They could give him a year or two off, something like that, and then they could start working on either a TV movie for The Walking Dead, or maybe they could do a theatrical release, which could be big budget and everything like that, and could be awesome. They could do some stuff that they couldn't do, in just the simple TV series in the movies, and it would also allow him to have a different schedule where he could work on stuff and do, his part in maybe a movie series, where he could have certain times where he could have breaks, and it wouldn't be like every year he has to be there all the time from this time to this time every season. You get him out of that show, and then you use him on a different kind of schedule for Walking Dead movies or something of the sort. So let me know what you guys think. If the helicopter does indeed save Rick and Rick actually survives this whole thing, well, who knows? Maybe he won't. Maybe the helicopter comes in and he dies anyway, or maybe it's open-ended so that they can decide later, does Rick die in the helicopter or does he come back? Give him the option to come back. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this one. But now that we know basically that a helicopter is going to be involved in some way, even if it's just an hallucination, what do you guys think? Do you think that which theory do you think is right? Do you think it's, him maybe going to the movies via a helicopter, CommonWealth? Do you think it's, no, that's just kind of them messing with us and he'll just die flat out and we'll never see him reprise his role again? Or do you think they're simply lying about this being his final episode and that he'll eventually come back, afterwards as a series regular? Either way, I do want to applaud them this year on kind of messing with kind of the, the whole media part of The Walking Dead where like things get kind of like you have the deaths and then some of them get spoiled and this kind of thing. I feel like this year they've really kind of messed with us quite a bit with regards to like it's going to be the final episodes, this is what it's going to be, and then now it's looking like helicopter and it's like, oh my god, and then it always did in the banners and stuff. So it's interesting stuff for sure. Let me know where you guys are at with this one. Which theory do you think is right? Simply dying, helicopter leaving to come back in the series later, helicopter leaving, surviving, and then some other kind of Walking Dead series in the future, be it movie, TV movie, or another spin-off series afterwards. Let me know what you guys think and leave your comments below about that one. Yari Az Quran said, Trev, I'm optimistic. They set up Anne's departure too perfectly. It's too coincidental to not happen. Jadis is going to save Rick and they'll both go to the CommonWealth and not come back for a long time. Then we'll find out what happened in the future Walking Dead movies or something. Rick lives. This is what I want to see. You could say I'm in denial. No, Trevor, you're just in denial and everything, but it's like, it's what I want to see. You get both, right? You get the death, you get all that stuff that you normally get dumpster style, and then in this case is a helicopter instead of a dumpster, and then you can still use them in the future later on. This has Gimple written all over it, by the way. Just to say. Insmanity says that when Jed said Alden wasn't as quick as you, are we referring to that Jed killed Alden or just possibly knocked him out? If Alden did get killed, does his Dante role fall through too, or will we get another similar character? So I don't think Alden has been killed. I don't think Jed did kill Alden. He probably just overpowered him, maybe knocked him out or something like that. Yeah, something of the sort, choked him out maybe, and then left afterwards. I don't think Alden has been killed. If he was, I think it would have been on screen. You would have seen it because he's a pretty big character now, especially considering everybody else leaving and all the changes that are being made here. He's an important character, I think, at this point. So I would think if he was going to be killed off, it'd be on screen for sure, similar to like a Rod or something. So I'm going to assume he's alive. Drew Mantia says he's somehow getting on that helicopter. They've been setting up the helicopter exit since season 6, episode 3, I believe it was. Plus, helicopters had significance in the first 3 seasons. It's true, man. So do the horses too, right? In this one, I love it because he sees the helicopter as it's going over. And he's the one who sees it. It's not like Daryl sees it. It's not like you have a scene in season 7 or 8 with, I don't know, who else could be there. Negan who sees it or something. Or Negan probably did also. Maybe, I don't know. Because he was tied up and she was calling it down and everything. But they had a scene where Rick saw it fly overhead. And he noticed it. He noticed it was there and everything. And you got to think, like, is that foreshadowing for him that, and how far ahead did they plan this goddamn thing out? And again, if Gimple is behind it, I want to say it's this evil master plan probably since about season 6 midway or season 7. So maybe midway season 7 is when they started to plan this whole thing out. I'm not sure. Tim Eubanks says, show cancellation not far. So with Rick being killed off, well, it's true that either way it's going to be a challenge. You have the scene with Rick and Carol, and it's kind of like Rick is sort of like, he's kind of in that scene. If you look at the dialogue in it, it's kind of like he's turning it over to Carol, like he's leaving it, hope for the future, it's her. So he's giving it over to Carol. So she's going to definitely be one of our leads, it looks like, for The Walking Dead going forward. And it's true that, I would expect the Walking Dead TV series to take a hit after this happens. Maybe they decided, like, okay, we'll have Daryl, Carol, Michonne, and some of the others. They're going to lead the Walking Dead original series. You get Rick out of there. You have Lenny James go to Fear. This all just feels like an expansion program, right? Like it feels like the Shredder has created. it's a plan, I think, to expand the universe of The Walking Dead out of just one TV series. It's a way to make it bigger, and I like that. That's ambitious. You have to change it up. You have to give him a break anyway, so it all kind of fits into place too perfectly for it not to be well planned out, right? Yeah, man, so that's what I'm thinking. So will the original Walking Dead TV series be canceled? Probably not. I think that they've got some ambitious plans, and they just haven't told us yet. Because Kipple did say in Talking Dead a while back there, I think maybe it was in the Fear Talking Dead, that there's some big announcements coming, but they haven't announced them yet. So movies, fingers crossed, right? So it's what we're thinking. Lotus Layla says, the bridge is a metaphor for what Rick tried to do so hard, namely building bridges of support and trust between the different communities. That's why he didn't give up on it either. And yeah, that's true, man. Rick, if Rick goes out here, if this is, let's say, his death, either way, he's going to go out a hero. He's going to go out as someone who was trying to build communities, trying to build society back up again, that being his dream, whether or not he accomplished it. He gave it his all, that's for sure, rebar and all. Andrew Ortiz says, if it's open-ended, can you imagine how crazy it would be if in 5 years from now Rick comes back in like season 14? I kind of hope he doesn't come back to the... Well, you could have him come back, but I really like this idea of using it to create something else, to bootstrap something else as well too, something bigger. That, CommonWealth, that kind of stuff could be really cool. So, but it'll have to be handled well. It's kind of tricky to have him leave and not have to just race right back, because that's his whole life, right? So something has to happen to him. Maybe he goes into a coma again for a little while or something like that, but eventually he kind of snaps out of it and doesn't know where he is and has memory loss or something. All this stuff kind of makes sense to me, and that's why I really like the idea of a movie. Plus, if they do a movie, they can do stuff they couldn't do in the regular series. You can do something as epic or more epic than what we could see in terms of budget in the main show. So hopefully that's something that we can see, and hopefully I'm not just dreaming this whole thing up. So just a couple more. Saints Row says, they said John Murthaugh was coming back for Rick's final episode. Do you think there is going to be anyone else? I'm not talking about Herschel or Sasha. And do you think Chandler didn't come back for Rick's final episode because he's pissed at AMC for killing Carl off? I don't think they asked him, but to have Carl not come back is one of the strangest things ever. Why would they not have Chandler come back? Maybe he doesn't want to, but he hasn't said. In the interviews, he seems to be pretty transparent about it. He seems to just tell people, like, no, haven't talked to him, nothing. So maybe they just didn't ask him, but I would think that they should. I don't know, man. Maybe something weird went down in negotiations or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But you'd think for Rick's final episode, he should be there, and that's the only thing I think that I would say should be there. Is that Carl should be there, unless he will be, and we just don't know it yet. So that's what I'm hoping for. Right? Either way, it should be an epic episode this Sunday. Last one from Thomas Bowers, who says the horse was Scott Gimple, right? the horse of death, right? The pale horse. That's Gimple, right? Killing everything, right? So, yeah, it's true, man. Well, let's see what his master plan is. I'm sure he's scheming like a supervillain right now. So let's see what he's got for us. And let me know what you guys think, man. What do you think they're doing? If the helicopter does take Rick, what does that mean for the future of the show? What are we going to see later? Do you like the movie idea or some of the other theories? What theory are you going with if he does survive this thing? If he JSS's, which based on what we've seen with Anne, it looks like he may. Let me know what you guys think. If you like it, thumb up the video below. Share it, favorite it. Subscribe at the bottom. And that's it for this video. I'll see you guys again soon for another. Trev, say peace. Later, guys. See you soon.